Welcome to SIS Stories. This is Miss Bacigalupo's English 10 class, storytelling under the theme, Enter, Return. This is Brian's memoir. Listen to him speak about the unexpected places that he finds changes when he returns to Korea.
Mom, I think the time has stopped for 4 years here. I told my mom when we got off the car in the middle of the town. But no, everything was fine. The newly released K-pop songs were playing, mostly BTS, in shops to attract customers, and people were looking down at their iPhone 7s, each embarked in their own journey. So, time hasn't stopped here, obviously. Then, what happened? It was scorching hot when my mom and I went back to Korea for summer break. This was the first time I went back to Korea since I came to China, first in 4 years, and I couldn't wait longer to visit my family and go back to the place with all the precious memories I had left in my hometown. I was especially looking forward to going back to the town I grew up in to see all the changes that the town might have gone through, just like finding Waldo. After 2 days of literally non-stop eating, and oh my goodness, I ate so much, the day had finally come. That day, I actually woke up at 7 a.m. sharp to my alarm, unlike usual where I would be begging my mom for an extra hour of sleep. That day was the day when I went to visit my grandma's house, which is right next to where I used to live before. It only took about 15 minutes to get there, but it felt like hours waiting and hoping to see the changes in the town. When I finally got off the car and took a little peek between my hands to avoid the blazing sunlight, oof, I was speechless. Nothing has changed. Nothing. I have been longing for this moment even before summer break has started. This was on the long to-do list that I have made for the vacation. It was even above sleeping for 18 hours. I even gave up an extra hour of sleep for this. An hour. 1/24th of a day. How precious is that? And yet, here I was, standing in front of the familiar buildings, staring at the familiar shops, next to a familiar bus station. Just when I was about to tell my mom that I wanted to leave this boring place right now, I started to recognize some parts of the village. First, the supermarket that I always went to after school. I bought everything I wanted and spent all my allowance for that week. Secondly, the playground with small but significant memories embedded in each one of them. The swing that I flew off of that made me achieve my childhood dream of flying. The seesaw that I bumped my tailbone really hard on. And the carousel that made me want to throw up so bad. Even the irresistible Korean barbecue restaurant that I had to go every single week was still there. Lastly, the apartment that I lived in, Building 607, 38th floor, the house on the left side of the elevator. Even though that house is now filled with voices and memories of different people, I will never forget the memories it has granted me. But everything still the same. Well, turns out, not really. When I took a closer look at the playground, I noticed that the new and shiny metal chains back then on the swing were now starting to rust. The menu of the barbecue restaurants was widened, now including varieties of menu. The painted number of 607 on the apartment was slowly erasing, leaving each number with scars inflicted by the blades of time. Leaving the shocking realization behind, I went to my grandma's house to visit my family. When I entered her house, grandma, uncle, aunt, and my younger cousin each gave me a big hug. My mind went through the same process. At first sight, I didn't see any changes in their appearance. Then, first, I realized I wasn't looking downwards at my cousin anymore. To be honest, I had to tiptoe a little bit to keep myself a little higher than my cousin. And then I noticed my uncle has lost weight. Lastly, I saw and felt way more wrinkles from my grandma's rough hands than the last time I met her. Just when the pessimistic thoughts were starting to fill up my head, Grandma's phone rang, and it was her brother. I used to go to his house a lot to see his puppy and play catch with him. My parents told me that I should say hello to him, so I picked up the phone. It was a FaceTime, so I tried to look as familiar as possible and said, 안녕하세요, and that's hello in Korean. The response was, oh, sorry, I may have called the wrong number. So I quickly had to say, what? It's me, Hyunsun. Yes, that's how you actually say my name. Even from the few seconds of silence, I could feel how shook my grandpa was. Then he left me, more shook, with the response. Well, you're a big boy now. I remember those times when I was able to let you sit on my lap. I bet you changed a lot. Until then, I was only busy searching for the difference of my surroundings. I was too busy looking for new buildings, new shops, new people. But what I didn't realize was, it's not the big things that changed. It's the small things. There aren't new buildings, but the bright signs that used to advertise themselves have their corners peeling off. The shops are selling brand new products. The people haven't changed, but they grew taller. They got more wrinkles. And above all, what I didn't realize until this moment was that I was the one that changed the most.